Hello, everyone. I'm Sean McCusker with EdTech Teacher, and we are here tonight with the team from BookWidgets. We're going to help us go through and talk how we can use BookWidgets as a tool to create gamification within our classroom. So I'm going to hand things over now to our guests, and we're going to let them walk you through just how it is that we can build gamification within our classrooms. Kate, Sheryl?
Thanks, Sean. If you want to pull up the screen with our slides, everyone can see that. We will get started. There we go. Awesome. So, yep, this is part of the spring renewal webinars. I'm Kate Baker, and with me is Sheryl Place, and we're going to be talking about gamification with BookWidgets. Go ahead, Sheryl, and introduce yourself.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Sean. I'm Sheryl. I'm currently an edtech specialist with BookWidgets in the U.S. market, even though BookWidgets is located in Belgium. And I have 38 years of teaching experience. So I understand the joys, the pains, the struggles, and everything associated with teaching. Super happy to be here.
Yay! Thanks, Sheryl. So I'm Kate Baker, also an ed tech specialist with BookWidgets. I was in the classroom for 20 years and do a lot with flipped learning and blended learning and just taking authentic learning experiences in our classroom and transforming them into digital formats. So are you ready, Sheryl, to talk about gamification and game-based learning?
I am. I hope everybody takes advantage of the comments. If they have a comment, please place it in there. And let's go ahead and get started, Kate.
So we have two definitions up here on the screen because these terms, we often see them being used when folks talk about how to gamify learning. So we have game-based learning where you're playing games in the service of learning. And then you have this gamification where you're taking the elements from a game and incorporating them into your learning activities. We are going to use both of these terms interchangeably throughout this whole evening because it doesn't matter. The definition doesn't matter. What matters is if you and your students are having fun while you're learning. So Sheryl, tell us about BookWidgets.
So we want to show you how that you can use one tool to really amp up your classroom. And what I love about BookWidgets is really the four components: a widget content creation library, so activities that you can use, templates that you can use to create activities, a complete integration with most learning management systems, including Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, It's Learning, Canva, Blackboard, and so many more. I think for me, especially in the hybrid environment, is the ability to monitor student progress live so I can see what my students are doing. I'm not in their computer, but I'm looking at the activities they're working on and offering them support and feedback. And then, of course, in the classroom, it's all about the data, having robust data that you can use to then further drive your instruction. So 4 pieces of BookWidgets plus gamification, bring it all together for us, Kate.
Thanks. So Sheryl mentioned those interactive templates. We have 40 templates in the widget library. So there is something for everyone. And within these widgets, we also have 35 different question types. So you want to do a video quiz with some questions built in? Well, you got 35 question types to choose from. So much more than just multiple choice, true, false, or short answer response. We got matching, audio response, annotate pictures, you name it, we got it.
And I think what's really great, Kate, is that 90% of those questions are going to be graded by the BookWidgets team. So when we talk about what stresses out teachers right now, it's the time that we spend on other things besides interacting with our students. So if we can use BookWidgets to grade those quizzes, assessments, activities, and help us build content, it's great.
Yeah. All right, so let's kick it off with some gamification with BookWidgets. So we have built out a total game, and we're going to use this hopscotch board that we've built for you. It is a hotspot, hopscotch, hotspot widget that we are loading in all of our interactive activities. So to kick us off, we're going to go to number 1 here, which is a Jamboard. So Sean, if you can share this particular link with our participants. There we go. Here comes the Jamboard. We would love to know, what are your favorite childhood games? So if you're online and you haven't used a Jamboard yet, you can come over here to the side. There are these sticky notes where you can type in what are your favorite childhood games. Maybe it's a board game. Maybe it's a computer game. Monopoly. You can
And if
just
you can't access that Jamboard, you can go ahead and post in the comment what your favorite game is.
Yeah. So you just type in if you're going to join us on the Jamboard, and this will stay open even post webinar. So at any time you want to participate, you can do so and share your thoughts. So here we go. You click on the sticky note, type in. You can change your color if you so choose, and hit save, and then it'll appear on the board. And then to clear out the sticky note, if you only just want to add one, you can move it over. Yeah, sorry's a great one.
Yeah. And I think this is a great example of one way that we can engage students in learning using a collaborative board. Jamboard is a great tool that you can use. There's lots of others, but I love using Jamboard.
Yeah, it's a great little tool.
Yeah.
So if you notice too, Cheryl, gee, what's this down in the bottom corner?
I don't know, but I'm hoping I'm going to find out pretty soon since this is gamification.
Definitely something that you'll see in gamification is the use of badges, where you are awarding, you get a badge for participating in a particular activity. So keep an eye out for these badges that we've built for you. All right, go ahead, Cheryl.
One of the things that I love to do in my classroom is put Easter eggs in any of my activities. So I think that we shared our BookWidgets game board in the chat. There might be some Easter eggs as we go along. So if you're a fan of video gaming and gaming like me, check it out.
So you can follow along with us and as we're clicking, but you can also be clicking on the widget. That link will go into the chat as well. And that's your takeaway, because this is somewhere on this hot spot is where you will find that Easter egg. So let's jump on to number 2 in our gamification thing. Go ahead, Cheryl. Talk about this one.
This is an example of a ranking activity. I love to use ranking activities in my English language arts class for examples of putting plot in order, but I've also seen teachers in history class, math class, order of operations use this. And so we're asking you to rank these statements in order of personal preference. And then you just click that submit button and the answers go directly to Kate and myself. Of course, if you want to submit them anonymously, you don't have to put in a real email address, but we'd love to hear what you have to say. So here's just one example of how you can amp up the learning. And instead of you just talking, ask the students to engage with the activity.
And after you hit the submit, look what happens. There's some automated feedback that appears. And look what's there. Not just a comment from us who's designed this activity, but also we have an image embedded there.
And I love that you can personalize the feedback. So in this instance, this wasn't a graded activity, but you can personalize feedback based on a specific score, 90, 80, 70. It doesn't have to be even number. Yeah. Let's hop on back to our game board, Kate, and take a look at number 3. We're going to go in order. Here is an example of a drag and drop activity. And in this drag and drop activity, I've let the students, my participants here, know if their answer is correct right away. As you drag it into the box, if it turns green, you have the correct answer. If it doesn't turn green, you can try again. And I'm going to say my cat also loves gamification, so I think she's going to make a personal appearance in a minute, so I apologize, but she happens to know, I don't know why, Kate, anytime I get on a webinar. Yeah. So she's got
Always love having that.
6th sense.
Yeah.
So I love this example of a drag and drop activity. You and I were talking today, Kate, about pre-service and intern teachers, and they always go to that short response question. You can get the same kind of feedback from your students using drag and drop or lots of different things in gamification for your students. So I'd encourage you to think outside the box.
Yeah. And then make sure you hit the envelope in the upper corner here so that you can submit. What's great about BookWidgets too is that if you didn't finish the activity as the student and you get this, you have one unanswered question, are you sure you want to submit? It's great to have that little bit of like just a quick check before you submit it. I'm going to hit submit because we want to see what appears in the feedback.
Another badge. I hope you're collecting all these badges, Kate.
I'm keeping an eye out for them.
You never know what might happen.
All right. Back to the hopscotch board. Let's say that 10 times fast for a prize. And we're on number 4.
So this is a continuation of our Jamboard. All you have to do is go up to the top, move it from number 1 to 2. And we'd like you just to think about your current practice. Where do you already use gamification and game-based learning? And I bet if you think about it, you may not call it gamification or game-based learning, but if you have your students compete against each other, you're gamifying your learning. So sort of where are you using it? I love this one, race-style games.
Feel free to share any tools that you may use too. So I know with my students, we often would do a Kahoot game to review before a test. And if I played the music and broadcasted the music for Kahoot, my students would come running down the hallway to get into the class. So, you know, being able to tap into their multi-sensory ability is great.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a fun one. Google Slides to choose your own adventure challenge.
I love that. Student voice and student choice is huge in my classroom. I love that. Thanks for sharing.
And this will stay open beyond the webinar. So for those of you that may not be attending live, you can still do all of these activities and participate with us.
Yeah, come back and put your answers in. We'd love to see them.
All right, here we go. So we've talked a little bit about gamification in theory and talked about our personal experiences. Let's take a look at a few examples inside of BookWidgets. So this is another hot spot image. And on here, I have some of the different tiles that represent the widgets that we have in BookWidgets. And this
could be something super easy, super simple, like this, Kate. Roll the dice.
Yeah. So here we have a randomness widget that has a dice spinner. So, you know, you don't have physical dice to play a game in your classroom. Here's a digital one that you could play with.
And this is great for something like PE class. Spin the dice. We're going to do 3 reps. We're going to do 5 reps. Music class. It doesn't have to be just that content area. Ooh, I love this one. How many times have I said that already?
Pictures. So you're not just relegated to, you know, words in your randomness spinner or one wheel. Here we have 3 wheels, and you could turn an art project into a bit of a game. You know, make this kind of a challenge base. You know, they spin the wheel, get 3 random pictures that you've selected, and then they have to write a story, create a piece of work about a turkey taking pictures with scissors. I hope he's not.
And Kate, I just want to say, in BookWidgets, we provide the pictures for you. So you don't have to go and look for the pictures. We have a total curated library of Creative Commons licensed images that you can freely use inside BookWidgets.
Now, even turn writing poetry into a game. Here we have on this wheel is the type of poem and then what the topic could be. So this is another way for, you know, National Poetry Month that you can have students practice in a fun way their skill set. Let's go take a look now at, here's a hotspot image. So Sheryl, talk about what we got on this one. We have some games boards.
Yep. This hotspot image, Kate, was created with Canva. So if you haven't found Canva yet, especially Canva EDU for teachers, check it out. I did not make that game board. So I found it in Canva. We roll the dice, we move, and we play a game. So this can be used for, you know, so many classes. And I have my game rules right there.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. And you can embed widgets inside of widgets. Here we have a jigsaw puzzle to solve as part of the game. Pretty cool that you can build these things into the pathway of learning.
And It's so easy to create these. You don't have to cut the puzzle yourself. BookWidgets will do all the work. This happens to be a piece of artwork that a teacher created just for Easter. She drew her own artwork, created a game board. There's cards that the students draw. Super fun game, easy to create. And what I love is everything is contained right inside BookWidgets.
Yeah. We're going to take a look now at a WebQuest widget.
So this is an example of a breakout room or an escape room. We have activity, and across the bottom, we have different pages that the students will go to. In this breakout room, we give our students tasks or activities that they have to do. You can see along the left-hand side, this is a multi-step process here. We've embedded a widget inside the WebQuest. This happens to be an image carousel. So the students will navigate out. They take a virtual field trip to Mars in this instance, and they're going to have to tell me how they're going to get back to Earth after they've crash landed on Mars.
Pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at a planner widget. This one's great for doing choice boards. So you can pre-populate these pieces here of the planner for them, but you could also emphasize that student voice and choice by having some activities loaded in here underneath that plus icon that they could pick the things to do for their demonstrating their learning. So this is another way that you can add voice choice and make the learning interactive and fun and a bit gamified as they kind of move along the steps of the planner.
And Kate, we've hidden an accessibility tool in here in the instruction page. Can you talk a little bit about the audio recording at the top where the green question mark is?
Oh, yeah. So thinking about multimedia, when we click on this particular piece,
this will share the directions, and it's really good for your students maybe who might be early readers or pre-readers, or you have students who have an IEP that indicates instructions need to be read to them. So there are ways to customize BookWidgets for those students who need differentiation, and I just wanted to highlight that here.
Yeah. Let's take a look at some pair matching.
This is another great example of using differentiation. We have lots of students who are colorblind, and when we ask them to match, they can't see the colors. So when you get a match here, Kate, you're going to see that down in the lower right, there's also an icon. That icon will help the students who have visual or perception issues know that they also have the answer correct.
Yeah. How about, let's see, I think we can let folks explore some more.
I think so, yeah.
Memory game, we have bingo that folks can explore as they go through the hopscotch.
So everything in the gaming ideas, lower level thinking skills, higher order thinking skills, mix it up and choose the activities that you like the best. I love this. This is called a tip tile widget, and a tip tile widget allows you to embed different images. And in this image at the bottom, you'll see I have a web link. The web link takes me out to another widget. This is an example of the jigsaw puzzle. I hope you can solve my jigsaw puzzle, Kate, because once you solve this jigsaw puzzle, magic is going to happen.
I love this one. I love the simplicity of this particular learning activity. So here we go. Get ready.
So once Kate has solved the puzzle, there's some feedback that tells us who this person is. And you'll note next to the last name, there's an icon for the speaker. There is a narration all about Murasaki Shikibu. And it's all, rather than me telling it, it's a story for my students to listen to. They can pause and repeat, come back to it. I love how you can take something so simple like a jigsaw puzzle and really amp up the learning by embedding an audio file here.
This is one of the things too with gamification, that you solve the puzzle and you get a reward, or you get more information is revealed to you as you go on your quest of learning. So again, being multimedia here, it's a great activity for this.
Let's just quickly show that spot the difference. A lot of times we think spot the difference is elementary. Here I've done a biology class, and I'm asking my students to find the difference between the plant and the animal cells. Students can use this for maybe a review before a formative or summative assessment. You can see that we have pop-up here that explains what the difference is. And once again, those pictures that we can import from the Pixabay image library.
And it gives you a nice little counter up here at the top. I know I found 2 of the 5 that I could keep clicking around. So you're giving the students some guidance too with the learning activity.
It's a spot the difference. Can we hop on over to the first crossword puzzle? The first crossword puzzle that I have, Kate, is really for my elementary teachers. And I've done a crossword puzzle with emojis. So if we have our students who maybe are, still working on their words, and I don't know, can you figure out what the last 2 are there, Kate?
Oh, what was it? Is
Scared?
this scared?
And I think happy.
Oh, did you mean sappy?
No, you got it wrong, Kate. See that red box that pops up? That tells you have everything right. Now you can fix it and away you go.
That's fun.
And I love, Kate, you could pull over those clues for the across and down. You can move them anywhere you want on this page.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so if you have a long clue or a big picture, you can move it so everybody can see it.
Yeah. And I bet crossword puzzles aren't just for words or pictures, are they?
You got it. How good are you at math?
I could use some practice.
So I love this crossword puzzle because in the instructions, I embedded a calculator. Now, BookWidgets has both a simple and a scientific calculator, but it's not one of the options in a crossword puzzle. So I went online, I got an embedded calculator. My students can use the calculator. I click OK, enter their number. And if they want to bring that calculator back, all they have to do is go back up to the I in the upper right, and they're able to bring that calculator back to continue to solve the problems. Crossword puzzle and BookWidgets, you put in all of your answers, and at the end, just like you did with the I Can Name My Feelings, it tells you whether your answers are right or wrong. And you can totally customize it if you want to allow your students to go back and try again.
There's that number 6.
Number 6.
Back to our hopscotch boards.
And so the idea is that we're working our way through the hopscotch board and learning things. Kate and I wanted to share, using this spinner, just some of our favorite game-based learning and gamification activities. If you don't follow Alice Keeler, we highly recommend that you follow Alice on Twitter. Oh, number 7, Class Dojo, Duolingo, Classcraft. These are all some of my favorite. Oh, Breakout EDU with Adam Bello. Yeah, all of these are, so I say everything's my favorite, right, Kate?
Yeah.
So check out these links that we have, these images that we have to see who Kate and I really like. And then these are some of our game-based apps. We're not just about BookWidgets, even though I live and breathe BookWidgets. I love, oh, there's a badge, Kate. I love Scratch, even in an English language arts class, GimKit, old school. Does anybody else remember Jeopardy Labs?
Love Jeopardy.
Yes, they're ready-made templates, Bamboozle, Bluekit, even Scratch. So check out some of these if you haven't seen the names before. Some of them are free and some of them are pay for. Check out some of these other game-based applications that Kate and I are highlighting here in the spinner.
All right, another jigsaw puzzle to solve.
And so we talked earlier about the 4 components of BookWidgets. I really wanted to highlight again what makes BookWidgets so powerful. We talked about our template library with over 40 templates that you can use to create your activities. Auto grading, work smarter, not harder. Complete LMS integration. Of course, one of the things that I love is the ability to monitor my students live inside an LMS. And then, of course, as I talked about, that reporting dashboard. And there's another example, Kate, of feedback with an audio. Oh, yeah, I see that.
All right, so here we are. We've made it to step 10 on our hopscotch board. And step 10 is really important for Sheryl and I. So we've spent this brief time with you tonight, giving you some ideas for gamification and some ways that you can create activities for your students with book widgets and whatever else you might use, and some other resources to take a look at. So this is an evaluation for us. We would love for you to let us know how well we did tonight. You can also share 3 stars. So 3 things that you will take away from this webinar and use it in your classroom, or share it with a colleague. And then list 1 thing that you were hoping to learn about or an idea for a future webinar. So that wish. And then when
you're going to see, Kate, I think you're going to see that in the comments, the link to it. For those who are attending after, it's inside the hotspot image, as Kate said, number 10.
Yep. And Sean, this last evaluation session, evaluation can go in the chat for folks. And then if you hit the submit button.
Once again, you can do it anonymously.
Yeah. You'll see down here in the feedback is a link for your attendance certificate from us here at BookWidgets. So you'd be able to type in your name in the designated area here to claim your attendance certificate if you need to show proof to your school or district, or if you just want to print it out and hang it on your wall, you could do that too. Just capture a screenshot or print to save it.
And I think this is a great idea that you could use with your students. We wanted to show throughout the gamification experience things that you can take away and use tomorrow in your classroom. The idea of printing a certificate or getting a screen grab of a certificate and putting it in a digital notebook is something that students really like. Old school, I used to put stickers on papers, and even my seniors would say, "Mrs. Place, where's my sticker?" And now you can make that digital badge or that digital sticker. Can you talk to us about the interactive board here, Kate?
Yep. Also here behind our students on our hotspot image, we have some additional links for you to stay in touch with us. Check out the BookWidgets blog. We have lots of articles on just about anything and everything related to education. And featured in all of our blog posts are example widgets that you would be able to duplicate and reuse with your own classes if you so choose. We also have a link for our webinar page because we run a Wednesday webinar series. So feel free to check out the topics there and register for those. You don't have to attend live because you will get the recording afterwards. And then stay connected with us on social media. We have the Teaching with BookWidgets Facebook group. We're on Twitter and YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. And we got some special surprises when you click on the question icon or the gift icon. You might want to check that out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. A little bit of an Easter egg there.
Yeah, and I just want to say that everybody in attendance will get 3 months free of BookWidgets. But I would encourage everybody to hunt around on this landing page, and maybe you will find something else. Find something else.
All right.
Connect with me and Kate as well. We're always sharing tips and love to hear what you're doing in your classrooms as well.
So, Sean, that brings us to some Q&A. If there's any questions that popped up.
Well, I don't have questions. I have a question in the chat here. I just want to know, there's so much that's there. There's so many tools that I would love to try out. If it were you, where would you have someone start? What's the first place? If they were to go build their first book widget, what do you suggest?
I would recommend starting with the worksheet widget or the quiz widget. They're essentially the same. You'll have the ability to utilize any of the 35 question types. The difference is that the worksheet will just let you scroll down, kind of do a long scroll as you add in the additional questions, whereas the quiz, don't be fooled by the name quiz, because you can use it as a formative activity. It doesn't have to be a summative assessment, but the quiz will show you one question at a time. So it depends on what your students may need and how they like to approach learning. But that's the 2 places that I would recommend starting.
And can I add something, Kate and Sean?
Sure.
So what I love is that we've all already created activities. If you have an activity in a Word document or a PDF, and a PDF that's not an image, but a PDF that's words, you can import those directly into BookWidgets in one click, and it will create the quiz and worksheet for you.
Which is pretty awesome.
Talk about
We also
worksheets.
have another great place to start too, if you're into flipped learning, is our video quiz widget. So, just as you might see in other platforms that you have a video that plays and then pauses where you have a question pop out. And again, in BookWidgets with our 35 question types, you're not just limited to multiple choice or, a long short answer response typed in. So.
And Sean, could I go ahead and ask you to share the link to the evaluation? You should see it in our comments.
I put it into the chat. I put it into the chat already.
No, can you take a look at the private chat? There's a link with just the evaluation, not the entire widget.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Just in case people get lost, I'd like to just make sure that they get the evaluation and they get that access for their extended trial.
Got it. It's
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There was a comment I saw about somebody who loves a spinner, and I love the idea that you can take a spinner and make something very, very simple or something really high order. So I'm glad that that resonated with one of the attendees today.
Yes, I actually love the spinner too, like the randomization of things in class. I could use that in 100 different ways. I also, what I really loved that you showed tonight was the way that you can build widgets on top of widgets and within widgets. That's really cool too.
Yeah. The web quest is like really advanced, but once you get the hang of a web quest, you can make some breakout rooms, escape rooms. You can put passwords on them, so you can't move on until you've solved step 1 and got the password to move to step 2. I love a web quest.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. I have a lot to follow up on. I've been taking notes all night. I'm really kind of interested in the way that you all put them together. Not so much the puzzles that you put together, but the way that you fit the different widgets together into puzzles. I think that's fantastic. So, and I also like the hopscotch approach to multiple steps to get to that final thing. I encourage anyone who watches this video later. I know that a lot of our teachers in the spring will get the video and follow up after. Go check out those links and find a special prize for yourself.
Yeah. We are so glad you all were here tonight with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. And to all of you who have come or have listened or who will watch this one a little bit later, thank you so much for joining our spring renewal webinar series. On behalf of EdTech Teacher, we say thanks.